Good morning, students. I am K.M. Srinivas from Sanjeev Degree College. Today we will discuss about computer networks, its components, and the need for a computer networks. So let us start. What do you mean by a computer networks? So we will discuss what do you mean by an computer network. A computer network consists of a group of computers connected with each other over through wires, optical fibers, or some optical links so that the various devices can interact with each other through a network. This is what you call as a computer network, right? Consists of a group of computers and which are connected with each other, which are connected with each other, right, which is called a computer networks. What is the main of having a computer network? The main aim of this computer is nothing but have a sharing of resources, sharing of resources among the various devices. In the case of computer network technology, there are several types of networks that vary from the simple to a complex level. And if you come across these computer networks, we have got a different number of components in computer network. Let us see what are the components in a computer network. Coming to the components, they are the components. So what are all the components we have? It consists of some cables and connectors, It consists of an NIC card, consists of something called an NIC card, and it consists of an hub. It consists of some switches. It has some routers, and it may have something like an modem. Like this, we have a number of devices, right, which are present in a computer network. And let us see what about these the components. Suppose that if we see the first one, we have an NIC here. What do you mean by an NIC? NIC is nothing but it's called a national interface card. NIC is a device that helps the computer to communicate with another device. The network interface card consists the hardware addresses and data link layer protocol use this address to identify the system on the network so that it transfers the data to the correct destination. This is what the use of an NIC card. Coming to this NIC card, we have like two types of NIC cards. One is an wired, another one is a wireless NIC cards. When you come to a wireless NIC cards, all the modern laptops, right, which use the wireless NIC. In a wireless NIC, a connection is made using the antenna that employs the radio wave technology. But coming to an wired, there is nothing but wired NIC. The cables use the wired NIC to transfer the data over the medium. So, we will see about this NIC in detail when you talk about the MAC address. And the next component we have is an hub. What do you mean by a hub? Hub is a central device that splits the network connection into multiple devices. That is, the hub will be somewhat like this. For this, all the devices are connected to this like this. Right? It is nothing but it is called a central device that splits the network connection into multiple devices. When computer requests for information from a computer, it sends the request to a hub like this. The hub distributes its request to the interconnected computers. This is what the use of an hub. The next component we have is a switch. Next one is a switch. Switch is also a networking device that groups all the devices over the network to transfer the data to another device. But if you see, the hub and switch both look to be very similar. A switch is better than hub as it does not broadcast the message over the network, that is, it sends the message to the device for which it belongs to. Therefore, we can say that a switch sends message directly from the source to the destination. That is, we may have a switch here and we may be having a number of computers like this, switch and number of computers like this. What it tries to do is, whenever you want to send the data from here to here, then through this we can send the data like this. But in the case of an hub, it does something like a broadcasting, but in the case of this, it directly sends from one device to the another device. That is what the main difference between a switch and an hub. See, when we are using like a hub, switch, modem, router, whatever it is, we need to have something called a cables and a connectors. The cable is nothing but it is a transmission media that transmits the communication signals. We have different types of cables. We have got an twisted pair cable, we have an coaxial cable, and we have an fiber optic cables. So, for doing this transmission media, we use a different types of cables. When we come to a twisted pair cable, it is an high speed cable that transmits the data over 1 Gbps or more. But coming to a coaxial cable, it resembles like a TV installation cable. The coaxial cable is more expensive than the twisted pair cable, but it provides the high data transmission speed. And the last one is a fiber optic cable. In the case of a fiber optic cable is an high speed cable that transmits the data using light beams. It uses light beams. It provides high data transmission speed as compared to the other cables. But the main difference is that it is more expensive as compared to the other cables and can be installed only at a government level. The next one is a router. What do you mean by a router? A router is a device that connects the LAN to the internet. This router is mainly used to connect the distant networks or connect the internet to multiple computers. Last one is the modem, and we have got some other components. And coming to a modem, it connects the computer to the internet or the existing telephone line. A modem is not integrated with the computer motherboard. It is a separate part on the PC slot that is found on the motherboard, right? Or these are the nothing but we call them as the components in the computer network. When you talk about a computer network, it consists of two types of components. One is an hardware, another one is a software. All the components like the NIC, hub, switches, modem, router, all these nothing but we call them as the hardware, the components. But coming to a software components, it consists of like two things. One is the operating system, the other one is nothing but we call them as the protocols. We have discussed in the previous section what do you mean by a protocol, right? Nothing but it consists of some set of rules that governs the transmission of the data. And we will discuss about the uses of the computers, or not the uses of the computer, uses of the computer networks. The first and very important is the resource sharing. What do you mean by resource sharing? Resource sharing is the sharing of resources such as programs, printers, data among the users on the network without the requirement of the physical location of the source and the user. That means that when you talk about these resources, right, it can be an programs, it can be an printer or some other things. Second very important use is, right, it uses something like an server and client model. See, computer networking behaves as a communication medium among the users. For example, a computer network is used in the client server model, and a server, what do you mean by a server and what do you mean by a client? A server is a central computer which is used to store the information, and it is maintained by the database administrator. That is, suppose this is my system, which you call it as a server, and this is the place, right, where I am going to store all my information. This is what is called as a server, and it is maintained by a system administrator. System administrator. And what do you mean by a client? The clients are the machines used to access the information stored in the server remotely. See, this is my server and these are my clients. These can be a laptops, or this can be a laptop, it can be a mobile, or it can be another device, right? See, all the information is stored in a server, and these are called a clients. They are called a clients. So the clients are nothing but the machines, right, which are used to access the information stored in the server remotely. And next one is a communication media. What do you mean by a communication media? It behaves as a communication medium among the users. For example, if a company contains more than one computer, has an email system which the employees use for daily communication. Next one is an e-commerce. When we talk about an e-commerce, we need to talk about a business. A computer network is also important in businesses. We can do the businesses over the internet. For example, the Amazon is a best example through which we can do a business over a internet, right? Almost like the 95% of their business takes place through over an internet. When we talk about internet, it consists of a set of computers and which consists of some topology has been used in that, and by using that we can share our information or we can do the business. Next one is, you can say that it is cost effective systems. The computer networks has reduced the cost of establishment of the computer systems in organization. Previously, the organizations used to set up the expensive mainframes for computation and the storage. But after this computer network has come into existence, it is sufficient to set up the interconnected pieces for the same purpose. Next very important is, it is highly reliable systems. The computer networks allows systems to be distributed in nature, by the virtue of which the data is stored in the multiple sources. This makes the system highly reliable. Suppose if a failure occurs in one source, then the system will continue to function and the data will still be available from the other sources. So, all these are the uses of the computer networks.